Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our June 23rd, 2025 show, we are going to be covering a lot of Superman news, obviously around the movie. We are going to be talking about so many of the different things. The world tour kicked off. It was in Manila last couple of days ago. Now, tonight, as we speak, it is in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. We've got so much to get through. Joining me, as always, are my two good friends and co-hosts, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
And hello, Mark.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are we both tonight? Doing well, I hope?
It's hot.
Not bad. Yeah,
It
it's
is
very
just so freaking hot right now. I know
hot. Oh my
you're
God.
all toasty warm
Look
with
at
your
you.
with your little knit and cap because we are
Jeez.
constantly doing that kind of, when we're freezing, you're hot. When we're hot, you're freezing. So
Yeah, if you're wondering, it was just a New
Oh, my.
Zealand beanie, but I bought it when I was over in New Zealand because we were in the South Island. It was so friggin' cold, and it was just like I didn't expect it to be this cold. But yeah, so I had to went into the quick convenience place, bought a $5 beanie, and away we went. Of course, we're follically challenged, us folks. But let's go on to tonight's topics. Or before we get into tonight's topics, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in with us live tonight. Thank you for your company. We really appreciate you joining us for this next hour as we get into everything in the world of Superman that you'd want to know about. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram again tonight, and we're on YouTube, where you can comment on each of those platforms. We are sadly not on our YouTube membership program anymore. That has been put on the hiatus thanks to Google and their stupidity. But if you want to still be a supporter of the Superman homepage and you were a YouTube membership sponsor, then we invite you to go over to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you can support the show. We love our sponsors. We love you supporting the show. We want to thank our Superman champions, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick Schutzow, and Jamie Klingensmith for supporting the show. We really appreciate you making this free for everyone, thanks to your donation. So thank you so much for your support. Michael, we probably don't have time, but how do folks get involved if we do have time to take callers, which we sometimes do?
if we have time, they just head on over to supermanhomepage.com/live, where they can press the call now button. They'll be placed in the green room, or they can scan the QR code with their smartphone and be placed in the green room, because it's the same place. It's not like we send you to a different place. It's not like one place is like Argo and the other place is the Phantom Zone. A couple quick notes, because we do have a lot to go over tonight. If we do take calls and you do get on and you're watching the show with an external speaker, please mute that, because we're on a bit of a delay and that can screw things up. And if you are wanting to converse with us through your smartphone, please use a headset, AirPods, some kind of Bluetooth device, because the speakerphone doesn't work.
Yes, and if you're a little bit shy, as I said, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram tonight. Feel free to post your comments. We can see all the comments and questions you might be asking. If you are on Instagram and you're only seeing the middle third, which is at the moment my head, then feel free to go to supermanhomepage.com/live, where you can watch the entire program in widescreen. So there it is, supermanhomepage.com/YouTube even is another way of doing that, so you can see the full picture. But we love you on whatever platform you're on tonight. Thank you for joining us. We can see your comment. Ask any questions you might have. We'll react to them as we go along. One of those questions, Mario is saying, hey guys, any idea if they'll sell tickets for the World Tour events, or at least be open to the public? Well, depending on where you are. So the Manila one's already happened, and there were events that you had to get tickets to and what have you. And then tonight they're in Rio de Janeiro, and I believe they're was a fan event which you had to register for. So there are different, depending on where they are, there are different events that you can register for. I don't believe you have to buy tickets for some of them. It's more about registering that you want to attend, so that you can get in and be part of the fun and festivities. All right, let's get into tonight's topics. We have a lot to get through in the world of Superman, especially obviously with the new movie imminently on our screens, and we start with the Cine Europe. So it's kind of like Cinecon in the US. It's a event where people in the cinema industry go and get exposed to all the different movies and things that are coming out. They showed a 30-minute preview of the upcoming film, which they also did in Manila for the world tour over there. That people got to see the first half hour of the film. They're not allowed to like pull, give the details of what was there. They're allowed to kind of give their views and reviews and what have you, but I haven't seen too many spoilers, which is fantastic. But first half hour of the film being previewed in parts of the world tour and at Cine Europe this past week.
Yeah, I'm at this point. It's kind of interesting. Back when the convention in Vegas was happening back in April, and we were all wondering when the full trailer was going to drop. I was just like, man, I would have liked to have seen like the full footage that they got to see that we didn't. Now I'm at the point, it's like I'm like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from seeing the about 2 weeks away from seeing the film. I'm good. I think I can hold off at this point.
Hold out. Yeah, fair enough. It's pretty impressive, Mark, that those kind of people get to see that thing and create some buzz about the film coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. It's just like Michael. I've had enough with the trailers and all that. I've seen everything I wanted to see. I'm just waiting for the real thing to come along, and I just want to sit, relax, and just watch it come. I don't know if I would have wanted to see the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have.
No, I get your point. It's nice to sit there and see the whole thing in totality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw a rumor today that there's like an opening sequence that's kind of like almost Star Wars-esque in kind of giving us a bit of a background about where the character's at this point in time. I don't know if that's true, but it would make sense because we are jumping into there's no origin story here. We're jumping into Superman having been around, and they've got to probably give a little bit of context about where we're at and what's happening in the world at the moment, where we kind of find ourselves at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
You mean like an opening crawl?
Yeah, maybe something like that, or some text.
I mean, I understand that, but no, just 1 second. I mean, I understand that. It's just that, I mean, I know this is a different movie and all that, but I think most people know the story of Superman and most of the major characters, whether they would really have to do something like that. And we've seen many movies, even if you go back to Batman '89, there was no actual origin. He was Batman, we knew he was still early in his career and all that, but we didn't need something like that. But okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's true, Michael. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the only thing I was going to say is, and I'm not saying it's bad one way or the other because we haven't seen it yet, and it's all in the context of it. It's just I remember Superman Returns opening with that bit of block of text you had to read before you saw Krypton be destroyed, and I'm like, this is a lot of like info dumping right at the beginning of the movie, and this is like the first Superman film in 19 years, but like Mind the Gap said in the comments, maybe it's like the Incredible Hulk, which Steve and I saw together, by the way, everybody.
Yes, we did,
in Metropolis, Illinois. No, actually, that was in Paducah, wasn't it? We had to go to Kentucky for that.
Yeah.
And the guy at the popcorn stand was like constantly saying how Batman was greater, and I guess he just didn't understand odds. But if they do something like the Incredible Hulk film where they like are showing bits of the origin, like we see Krypton like in the opening credits, I think that's great because I think that's absolutely where you put it. You get it out of the way, and then people have a context for this version of Superman, but then you can move on with the story.
Yeah. We'll wait and see what happens there. But Mark, you got both guys mentioned to me, Michael off screen, but Mark, you just kind of mentioned like you were good now. You've seen enough. You don't want to. You're just ready for the film. But there were a couple of there have been quite a few TV spots, and thankfully they don't give away anything more than what we've already seen. But there are a few new tidbits of new footage, but again, it's kind of just from a different angle or a different part of the scene that we've already witnessed. But here are a few of the bits and pieces that we've seen. There was a new movie TV spot where he says the world will see who he truly is. That is Lex saying that. Let's have a look at it's. I think this was it. Strength, was the label that they gave it. Have a look at this one.
You were out there helping them?
I thought I was. They've always been wrong about me. I get scared, but that is being human. And that's my greatest strength.
Rated PG-13, only in theaters July 11th.
So there you have it. That's him, really getting, talking about what he's trying to do and who he is. And I think he's getting a little bit frustrated there at the fact that people don't seem to understand his actions.
That is actually the most brilliant way to approach the character at this point, because so many people in the real world don't understand who Superman is. And certainly, and again, we're going to get in trouble with the Snyder fans over this, certainly over the last 10, 12 years, we've had this kind of perception of who Superman is and this argument over it. And now we have the character itself expressing this. So I think it's just going to be this film is going to be interesting at the if nothing else, it's going to be an interesting look at who Superman is.
Well, what I love about this, Mark, is the fact that Superman understands who he is. There's no doubt on his behalf. And that's something we have seen in recent films, that he's not sure about his place in the world. Here he is but arguing for his actions and on behalf of his actions. And he's very much assured of who he is and what he stands for.
He said, he's always been human, that, that's who he is. And while many people will argue, he is from Krypton, grown up as a human and all that, but he has been raised as a human. He's been raised as, I don't want to say as a normal person, but he has been. I mean, he's got superpowers and all that, but his family raised him like they'd raise any other kid, and he's gone to school like any other kid, and he probably went to college and became a journalist like other. So to him, he's like, yeah, I have all these superpowers and I can protect people. And, I've been taught to be a good person and I'm human like you are. I've got powers and I could save people. But that's something that, that's something everyone should strive to do, not have powers, but protect other people and do the right thing. And that's really what he's trying to say. And that's what he's trying to convey to, whoever he's actually talking to, whether it's, the world or Lex Luthor, but that is, that's who he is. And we have seen other versions in recent times that have gone either the other way or have just not really known who he really is, and until a certain point. Here, he's confident. He's done this for a little while and, this is who he is and let's go.
Yeah. Exactly. There are a couple other TV spots. I'll just play a couple of the quick ones here as we go. Here we go.
You were out there helping them?
I thought I was.
I was sent here to serve the people of Earth.
And to help the world to be a better place. That's why I do what I do.
Rated PG-13, Viewer July 11th.
So there again, he's very confident about who he is, what he's doing. You can even hear some emotion in his voice in that dialogue. Here's another one.
We have to stop Lex.
Ready?
Let's do it.
July 11th. Summer is
Buckle up.
looking up.
You have a dog?
Rated PG-13, everywhere July 11th.
There's Lois guiding the T-sphere or the T-craft or whatever we call it.
James Gunn joked about that on social media. He called it the T-Mobile, but that looks like T-Mobile. So he's just like, I guess we're going to have to come up with another name.
Yeah.
So, that's and here's another one. Here we go.
You keep getting all these interviews with Superman. Eventually, people are gonna figure it out.
But the glasses.
Superman, I'm gonna take everything from you.
Good luck with that.
Rated PG-13, everywhere July 11th.
So there's Lex threatening Superman about him taking everything from him.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the most dangerous Lex we've seen on the big screen. And that's nothing against Gene Hackman or Kevin Spacey or I almost called him Michael Cera. He's not Michael Cera. He's somebody else. He's somebody else completely. And I can't even remember his name now. I'm just wanting to call him Michael Cera.
Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse Eisenberg. There's your pull clip for the week when you're putting like small videos out
together
on Facebook and stuff. It'll be me wanting to call him Michael Cera. No, I'm really excited to see not only the visuals of this film, but what it represents. And I'm wondering if this is where the pendulum swings back to the middle. You know, we were on one end on Superman Returns. We were 180 degrees on the other side with Man of Steel. Is this like the butter zone for doing a successful Superman film? And given everything that's happening right now, it's just like, are people really wanting this type of character?
Well, it's very interesting. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, here's the fourth and final one I'll show.
Superman, I'll destroy you.
Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy. Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Rated PG-13, in theaters everywhere.
Yeah, I like that line. Your obsession with me is getting a little creepy.
Yeah, he's jovial. He's got a sense of humor. He's got a personality, and I think that's another thing that I'm ready for in a big screen Superman.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys, posters. There's been a million of them out there, and today's fan favorite question is going to be around the posters. But this one came out this past week. And it's getting a lot of good attention. A lot of people saying, calling it a retro movie poster. It has got so many kind of different elements to it that are part. There's, little boxes underneath, very much Superman the movie inspired. Even with the whole black border thing down the bottom. There's the pose that he's in is very much either Superman Returns, where he's that image of him going up the stairs at the Lex's Fortress of Solitude that he created. And there's even some of that Jim Lee kind of his positioning of his feet on the top of the gargoyle thing. No, what was it? Eagle on the side of the building, that kind of image. There's the clouds in the background, which again are very reminiscent of the You'll Believe a Man Can Fly, Superman the movie poster. There are just so many elements to this that just bring you a lot of joy because it's just kind of the movie posters we used to see a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw some people complaining that like the Photoshop on it is bad because the yellow on his belt is kind of reddish, but I guess people don't understand light and how lighting can affect the coloring of things around it. But what do I know? I'm not a graphic designer. If only somebody on this call was a graphic designer.
Yeah, shading.
Well,
but Mark, what did you think of it?
no, I think it looks great. I mean, it's just a nice. As far as being, it's a throwback, but it's just a much more casual. I mean, I love, of course, him flying up and all of that, but it's just a casual looking poster, just like, hey.
Here I am.
This is who I am. Look at me. This is who I am. And so it's just that mix of throwback and, who I think we're going to see in the movie as well. Just getting that sense of it.
A couple of quick questions in the comments. I think Justin was asking, do we know if there'll be post-credit scenes? James Gunn has hinted that there will be post-credit scenes, plural. So whether we get one mid and then at the end, don't know yet. John Patrick Van Pelt asking if we know if there is a planned sequel. Yes, James Gunn has said that he is already writing, but it won't be a direct sequel, which is kind of a little bit a bit of a mystery as to exactly what that means. But yes, there will be further films down the track, and we don't know if Superman will appear in the Supergirl movie, which I believe now is just called Supergirl, not Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow anymore. But we have a belief that she will be in making an appearance in this film. So it's all speculative at the moment, but yeah, there is some information out there if you know where to look. All right, so already people are trying to track the box office numbers, and projections are ranging this from 95 million up to 130 million or something along those lines. But the kind of the number I think that's more interesting and more positive is the fact that it has already generated $10 million US in advanced ticket sales.
Yep, but it's going to be a bomb. It's not going to do well. It's going to be a complete flop, which isn't true.
It's the marketing, not enough marketing. Not enough marketing.
Yeah. So anyway, read into that what you will. The projections are what they are. They're just projections. We don't know. We'll wait for the actual opening weekend to determine. And I think this movie could be a great box office success, but I think a lot of it will depend on word of mouth. I think people who do go see opening weekend, if they come out of this going, "Oh man, you got to see this Superman movie. It's awesome. I'm going to go again. Do you want to come with me? Going to see it again?" That's where I think it will generate its second weekend worth of box office takings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm seeing it twice in the first week, but I'm a given, I guess I should say.
Yeah, it's that's not a stretch.
A lot of a movie. A lot of times a movie opens huge, and that's great, but it's the second weekend when everybody's watching it because it could drop by 60% or so, and that's not a great sign. But so if the movie may drop certainly, but if it doesn't
especially
drop by
considering
much,
the films that are coming in the same month, there are a lot of great movies that are actually coming right after it. I don't know if it's the Fantastic Four or the Jurassic Park. One of them's before and after it, so it's smack bang in the middle of two other big films. John Patrick Van Pelt saying, will Superman win an Oscar? Who knows? Maybe it's for special effects. That's always a possibility. But they kind of get a little bit overlooked, comic book films, when it comes to those kinds of things. So, wait and see. JK Krypton fan 76 in the comments saying, already seeing it July 8th, July 11th. I'll be seeing it July 8th, and then we'll probably try to see it in IMAX if I can. I'd love to see it on the big screen, maybe even in 3D. I believe that's we spoke about that last week, so we'll wait and see. Look, there's been a number of interviews that the cast and crew have been doing this past week. James Gunn did an interview with Entertainment Weekly where he goes into Ultraman, Lex Luthor's master plan, and what's next for the DCU. We'll let you go in and have a look at that yourself. There's also James Gunn was part of the Showcase official podcast, DC Studios official podcast, episode 15, again, where he goes through different things in regards to, being a filmmaker as well as being the studio head, crafting the DCU, the new Superman film, obviously, and talking about future projects as well. We've put a whole article helping you disseminate that podcast if you want to check that out at our website. And then there was interviews with some of the cast members, or actually before that, James Gunn revealed in one of his interviews that, and again, I don't know if this is a spoiler alert because, you're not going to know unless you kind of look at the credits anyway, but there are a couple of Marvel stars from Guardians of the Galaxy, who he's obviously friends with, has done 3 films with, or whatever, how many films ever there were in that series, where actors are coming in to lend their voices to some of the Superman robots in the Fortress of Solitude, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this. This is what people kind of guessed, but having some of the Yondu and Rocket and all them doing voices is just, it's cute. It's what you kind of want to do.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much for them to get into the recording studio and do a few voices. But yeah, you've got Pom Klementieff, who was Mantis, Bradley Cooper, who was obviously Rocket Raccoon, and Michael Rooker, who was Yondu, as you said, all voicing some of the robots in the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, we already know that what's his name is the voice of number 4.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, yes. And I think that was revealed who the female voice actress was for the new robot that we see in the but it's kind of skipping my mind. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but anyway, I was looking for it for my information. But yeah, I mean, they're not important roles, but it's kind of cool that he can get some of his past actors involved in this film.
Yeah, any kind of fun cameos.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you're not going to know until you watch the credits and see who the voices were, and it's not going to make that much of a difference to your viewing experience. James Gunn will be attending London's HMV store in Oxford Street to do a Q&A in-store with fans. The tickets sold out, I think, within 20 minutes. I do have someone from the Superman homepage a new person who is kind of joining the staff in a way, who is going to be attending that Q&A. Will do a report for us when that happens on July 1st. So looking forward to that. So if we were lucky enough and you're in that Q&A with James Gunn, it will be a 45-minute standing event at the HMV store there in Oxford Street, London. So that will be a great event for fans to attend if you were lucky enough, as I said. But the cast and crew are doing lots of interviews and are appearing on more magazines. We do know now you can have a look at the cover to People magazine, where David Corenswet is on the cover. Meet the sexy new Superman, it says there. And so there's an exclusive article from People in that issue, which is on sale now. The June 30 issue, I believe, is on sale now. And then Rachel Brosnahan appears on the cover of Marie Claire in Australia. I think there's also one for some other countries that are similar or different covers, but I think it's a standard interview that is going through all those different magazines, depending on which country you're at. But Rachel also appeared on the Kelly Clarkson show this past week, where she was happy to talk about the film. Was not too concerned about dropping too many spoilers and what have you, but that's a great interview that was also up on our website. Are you guys reading any of these articles? Are you kind of trying to stay away from them, or do you collect these magazines?
Just more like, I haven't read an issue of People magazine in like decades. Yeah. So I like back when I was working at my last job, I would leaf through it every once in a while, and that's what I felt really bad because I was laughing because they had a whole article on the death of Gene Hackman, and the shot of him as Lex Luthor was from Superman 4, and I'm like, is that really the one you want to remember him from? Okay, that's fine. But no, it's just like 20 years ago I would have been all over this stuff, and now I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
You go through phases where you try to collect everything and anything that had the cast and crew in it. Now I'm perusing the newsstands and having a look to see if they appear on the covers and kind of flick through them. But nowadays most of the articles appear online anyway as part of the website of these magazines. So they're a dying breed, magazines, but nevertheless they still get published.
I mean, I'd love to be able to get a magazine. I mean, I just it's not as readily available, all these magazines or whatever. So either you got to get it digitally, or and it just gets to be too much. And like you said, you can go online and you could read, if not the whole article, excerpts from the article. So and even that, again, we've heard a lot of it. We've heard already, or yes, they're going to give a little too much away. And right now, I just kind of want to stay away for the moment anyway.
Yeah, no, don't blame you. But they've been doing some fun behind-the-scenes types of little video snippets. They did a bald off where James Gunn and James Carrigan presided over a makeover competition where David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult attempted to give Beck Bennett, Nathan Fillion, and Skylar Gazondo a bald makeover. Have a look at a bit of the video here.
Anthony, what do you think the secret to bald acting is?
The secret to bald acting is just giving them a little bit of that.
It's a bald off. Beck, Skylar, Nathan. Whoever wins gets a role in the sequel to Superman, and the 2 people that lose will be kicked out of the DCU forever.
You are out.
3, 2, 1, go!
Bald.
Anthony, who's a favorite?
I gotta say, Beck does have a leg up.
Nick doesn't seem to understand that even though you're bald, you still have ears. That's a negative.
Everybody has different ears, oh my God.
I can't hear any.
So there's just a bit of the video of them trying to put the bald cap on and trying to make it look realistic. It's a bit of fun there, but you can watch the whole video at our website. That's it looks like they have a lot of fun doing these things.
Oh yeah, there is no shortage of their marketing and kibitzing around with each other. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, and they've been doing some of these behind the scenes kind of videos, Mark, where they've like shown, you know, the inside of Lex Luthor's mind and how driven he is. Have a look at this one.
Lex is driven and hardworking.
You're 5 o'clock.
He's kind of a master puppeteer, a conductor in many ways, to manipulate someone who is clearly physically more gifted.
Have fun, everybody. All right, let's go live.
What's fun about playing a villain is breaking them apart and go, well, actually, you make a few key twists in your brain wiring, and then you realize that it makes complete sense where they're coming from.
He's back.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's trying to get the actors' take on who these characters are, and where these characters are, where they come from, and giving a little bit more information, and they're nice little snippets and things to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
See what they have to say about.
Yeah, folks, if you have a question, feel free to just post it in the comments there. We will, keep an eye on what all the comments you're saying, all the conversations you're having, and we'll interject when we see something that we need to touch on. So yeah, feel free to just post your comments, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. We are keeping an eye on that feed as we go along. As I mentioned, the World Tour kicked off this week, June 19th. They started in Manila in the Philippines, and it looked like a massive, great event. They tried to create the largest S-Shield made up of people that have been done in the Philippines. There was some great photos and videos that were put out. It was just totally impressive. Some of the, sets that they built, and some of the, memorabilia that was put out, and some of the things that the fans could interact with. Oops, turn that one off. There we go. And just how big this thing was, and how many fans got dressed up in some of the costumes, and there was a drone display as well. And it's just, they went all out for this thing, and it was great to see that David, Rachel, and James Gunn, and I believe Peter Safran was also there. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to show. So it looked like it was a great event there in Manila, and fans there were videos galore. There's heaps of them up on our website with David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan, getting amongst the crowd, getting amongst the fans, signing autographs, taking photos, and there were fan events that night and all those kinds of things. So it looked like a great time was had by all.
Yep. Yeah. It's like I said, they're really going all out for this film in a way that I was not expecting.
Yeah, and Rachel and David both were on a couple of the local channels and things, talking about the overwhelming feeling they got from everyone there in the Philippines and in Manila, and just how much they felt welcomed by the fans there. So you can catch those interviews at our website as well. And as I said, tonight they are in Rio de Janeiro, where they're in Brazil, and that's the second stop in the World Tour. And there's a big event taking place tonight, the Super Cabana, and videos are already emerging on the official social media channels, and you can check out all of those on our website. But it just seems like fans are getting the best stuff that they can see in those locations. Have a look.
That's an epic picture.
That's very welcoming. Jesus spreading his arms, ready to embrace the movie.
Embrace Superman. Okay. If it brings people to the theaters, I'll say okay.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll see more out of tonight's event there in Rio de Janeiro. All right, another magazine, as you just quickly saw. This one, a French magazine, Le Crayon Fantastique, is another of the magazines, and we've written an article about what you can see in that particular one. Then there's another one, Geek 79. This is a German magazine. Is also features Superman on the cover. So that's available to purchase online as well if you're not in Germany. So we're just seeing the movie across, various magazines and publications, as I mentioned earlier, with interviews and what have you. And there's heaps and heaps of merchandise that's still coming out and will continue to come out. Some of them, this backpack, this one was very interesting. It glows in the dark. It's from Loungefly. It's now available to purchase through Amazon. It's $100, so it's not cheap. But it's not only glows in the dark, but it's, got a great sheen to it. There's how it looks when it's in the dark. And then it's got a really nice interior as well, with some of the designs from Superman and Krypto that you can have a look at when you look at it on our website. But this is 12 inches wide by 17 inches tall and 5 inches deep.
Yep.
Full size.
That's God, I hope those chemicals aren't bad for you that make it glow.
If you're in Korea, there's this is a moviegoers, all those different things, the cup holders and the popcorn holders. Well, this is a Superman movie box set, which is now available with ticket purchases in Korea. It features an exclusive poster with your movie ticket, of course, commemorative pin, all packaged in this striking box adorned with Superman's film logo. So there's the pin inside, which I'll get a closer look up onto here for you. There it is. Superman and Krypto sitting there on the moon. So that's for our Korean fans out there.
Yeah. So much cool stuff that we're never going to get.
Yeah, we'll never see it ourselves. Fonjoy, we mentioned this last week. They have a Superman figure coming out, but they also have a Lex Luthor action figure coming out, which I will show you right now. This is looking really cool. Fondroid looks like they did these awesome 1/9 scale statues. This is obviously Nicholas Hoult as Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and so that's an impressive. And this will be available, I believe, at the end of this month to pre-order. So just wanted to show you that one there. All right. More promotions coming out in Australia. Pizza Hut, they're doing a promo for the new movie. Here it is here. If you purchase a limited edition bundle, you could win a trip to Abu Dhabi and get to go to Warner Brothers Movie World, or Warner Brothers World, I should say, Abu Dhabi. It's valued at over $20,000, that prize. But pizzahut.com.au. When you purchase a Superman bundle. And I heard a lot of people going, oh, Coca-Cola, Pizza Hut doesn't do Coca-Cola, we do Pepsi. And I go, well, maybe in the US you do, but Pizza Hut over here does Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It's all about who has the licensing in whatever area. So,
yes, indeed. All right, let's get into some of our regular segments. Let's do our fan favorite segment right now. Here we go. If I can find the button for it. There it is. All right, Michael, what was our fan favorite question from last week?
It was, what is your favorite episode of My Adventures of Superman with Superman animated series? And Wonder wrote, and I will not try to do Wonder's voice, because if you follow Wonder on TikTok, he's got a very, very deep voice. Love the show every week. My favorite episode of My Adventures with Superman is when he fights Kaiju Parasite and the city helps and cheers on Superman, excuse me. Season 1, Episode 9, Day 0 Day Part 2. I honestly love every episode so far, though.
Yeah, that is a great episode. That was one of the best moments of Season 1. Thank you, Wonder. Who was next, Mark?
Lorenzo Hot Takes Valdez wrote, My favorite My Adventures with Superman episode is Most Eligible Superman, the season 2 episode in which Kara, and Jimmy get to know each other while Superman is participating in Most Eligible Bachelor. This episode kicks off what I consider Maw's strongest run of storytelling yet in the second half of season 2.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lorenzo. Next up was Plain Pulling Tom, who said, my favorite My Adventures with Superman episode is the one with Mr. Mixes Pitalik. I'm a huge multiverse DC fan because it's plain and simple, unlike Marvel, that is just all over the place. So when Mixie starts snapping his fingers and showing all the different Clarks, I got a kick out of it, even Super Crab. Question of the day. Why did Crypto attack the evil Superboy from the multiverse? He wanted to take a bite out of Prime.
Okay. Wow, a McGruff the Crime Dog joke. That
Oh my.
haven't seen that one in a while. Ryan Ignatius Pratt wrote, "What is my favorite episode of My Adventures with Superman? What a most difficult question to answer. There are so many worthy contenders, as I thoroughly love this series and can't wait for its third season. But if I must pick one, it would be the season 1 episode, 0 Day Part 2. It is the most moving episode, especially when all of Metropolis shuts down its power usage to help stop the kaiju-sized parasite."
Very cool. That's another vote for that particular episode. So thank you so much to Wanda, Lorenzo, Tom, and Ryan for answering this week's My Adventures with Superman episode. Fan favorite question about My Adventures with Superman. We'll kind of end that series of questions now because we've reached the whole television thing, gone through the whole spectrum from beginning to end, where we stand right now. So our new question for this week is, what is your favorite new Superman movie poster so far and why? The email to send your answers to is on your screen right now. It is info@supermanhomepage.com. That's info@supermanhomepage.com. Let us know what is your favorite Superman movie poster for this new film so far and why, and we will read out the responses and show those poster images when we return to this segment next week. All right, we are going to jump into This Week in History right now for Michael Bailey.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bubble of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, it's not a really big one this week. We jump all the way to 1965 with Action Comics number 327, where we have 3 generations of Superman. The beard is creepy. We also have Adventure Comics number 335, which, of course, has a Legion of Superheroes thing on it, and Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 59. I don't know why I'm so congested all of a sudden. I apologize, everybody. In 1975, we have Action Comics number 451. I'm sure this scene plays out in the comic at some point. That is a dramatic cover. 1985, we have Action Comics number 571, which has probably one of the most memorable covers of the era. And on the opposite spectrum, we have World's Finest Comics number 319, which doesn't. In 1995,
what is he wearing?
It looks like some kind of mind device, but it could also be like he's getting his hair done.
Yeah, it's like he's at the salon getting a perm.
Yeah, he's a scissor, so.
You never know. That curl has to be, done somewhere. So you got that going on. 1995, we have Adventures of Superman number. I forgot to write down the number, but this is a heavy issue, y'all.
526.
526. This one has the OG Bloodsport fighting the white supremacist Bloodsport, and it ends on a very, very dark note. Like, this gets into the whole subject of like abuse in prison and overpopulation and racism. Wow. It's I guess people today would call it woke. There was also Green Lantern number 65, which was part of a crossover that was rather boring, but this was actually one of the better chapters of it. because Kyle and Supergirl got to do some things together. Outsiders number 21, which I'm only mentioning because it has the Eradicator as part of the team because he had to go somewhere. And Steel number 18 with a cover that is much more interesting than the interior. I love Louise Simonson and a lot, but that series was really rough going at first. In 2005, Teen Titans number 25, as we're getting into the revelation that Connor has two daddies, and one of them was Lex Luthor. And then in 2015, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 4, number 4, and Superman number 41 as we start the whole Before Truth storyline. In the real world, Douglas Smith, who played Jimmy Olsen on Superman and Lois, Jimmy Olsen version 2.0 with Tyler Hoechlin. He was born in 1985. On June 27th, this Friday, Dan Jurgens was born in 1959. And on June 28th, Superman Returns opened in 2006. And Alyette Zurer was born in 1969, and she was Lara in Man of Steel. And that is This Week in History.
Awesome. Yeah, so happy birthday to Dan Jurgens, who has been a guest on this show and many, many moons ago when we were only an audio version. And
yeah, we had him on around the time of the 30th anniversary of Death of Superman. So.
Yes.
So,
we
yeah.
did too. So, yes, well, congratulations and happy birthday to him. And thank you, Michael, for doing This Week in History. Mind the Gap in the comments asks, in whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow when it said this is an imaginary story, did Alan Moore mean Lois was telling a false story?
No.
No.
It's such a pretentious opening. But the idea of that storyline, and everyone says it's like the closing out of the Silver and Bronze Age. It's much more of a Silver Age Superman than a Bronze Age Superman. It was more the idea of closing out that era with an imaginary story, which was a staple during the 60s. So I always got that was what he was going for, again, in the most pretentious way humanly possible.
Yeah, it was like this is the way we could have wrapped up this era of the character, but we're not setting it in stone. It's just the way it is as an imaginary story, which aren't they all?
Yeah.
All right. Talking about the comic books, DC Comics this past week released their solicitations for the month of September, and here are a couple of the highlights we would like to show from that. We have got Superman number 30. Superman has found the mysterious hero known as Booster Gold. Together they must return to the present day to warn the Justice League, but Darkseid's Legion stands in the way. The shocking events of this issue lead into next month's massive next chapter in the All-In saga. So there's a great cover there by Dan Mora. So
yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to that, but it's weird. The more we get closer to the movie, the more the comics are like piling up for me. I don't know why.
That's right. They're taking a little bit of a back seat. I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. It's kind of like we've got too much at the moment. We just have to, they just have to wait their turn. Adventures of Superman, Book of L #1. So this is a new series. It says Superman Returns. Fan favorite Future State Superman House of L creators Philip Kennedy Johnson and Scott Godlewski reunite for Adventures of Superman Book of L as the super family settles into a well-earned time of peace and a powerful ally turned enemy invades Earth with an army at his back and a goddess aspect of Olgren, man god of the first world. When even the super family lacks the power to stop him, Superman is sent against his will to a place even he's never been, where he'll find allies he could never have expected. Concluding the events of Future State and Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics, the next epic adventure begins here. Nice to see that he's returning, Philip Kennedy Johnson, to kind of put an endpoint to what he started.
No, absolutely. I remember they kind of jumped the gun with this announcement a couple months ago, but now we're getting a proper solicitation for it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, then there's Superman Unlimited #5. That's another ongoing series now. When the Kryptonite Kingdom faces a deadly terrorist attack from the Cobra cult, this looks like a job for any hero other than Superman. The nation state of El Caldero has the highest concentration of kryptonite on the planet. It is literally the last place on Earth Superman should go. But when its people cry out for help, of course the Man of Steel will answer the call because he's Superman. Part 1 of the first multi-part adventure in Superman Unlimited. So yes, an influx of kryptonite.
Yeah, it's literally the opposite of Kryptonite Nevermore. It's kind of
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Evermore, very much.
Yeah, Kryptonite forevermore.
Forever.
Action Comics 1090 is the last one we want to look at here. It's a long forgotten hero from the past returns, but this is no team up. As Superboy fights for his life against the original Man of Tomorrow, he discovers the real reason superheroes have gone for so long. Can Clark convince his enemy that he comes in peace? So this is obviously adventures of Superboy when he was younger.
I'm willing to bet that's Captain Comet.
Right, okay.
Could be.
Because he was the mutant who had abilities, far in the future of human evolution, and he's a favorite of Mark Waid's. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was Captain Comet.
Okay, good call. Fair enough. On the gaming side of things, Fortnite June 18 update delivered plenty of content. As you know, there was a new Superman skin based on the upcoming film. But now there is a new Superman skin for people who get the Battle Pass, I believe it is. It is again, I'm not a player, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. But the new skin is a pen and ink variant, which takes things to an entirely different level. This cel-shaded masterpiece showcases a unique take on the iconic Superman logo with a distinctive S symbol displayed against a striking black background. So it's kind of reminiscent of the Golden Age in a way. And Fleischer, yes. So it is a new skin that you can get for playing Fortnite. I think it's available starting July 11th. So, yeah, you have to complete some quests and what have you to be able to get this skin. So that looks pretty cool.
Yes, it does. It's a nice costume.
Obviously, there's a cape.
Never played, so I have no idea, but it does look good.
Does look good. All right, on the merchandise side of things, we got our first look at McFarlane Toys Superman statue by Clayton Henry. This is a resin statue. Pre-orders for this statue are going to launch during San Diego Comic-Con. Again, this looks like the Superman red-blue type of scenario where it's it's like monochronistic or whatever that word is. I think it's a word. Isn't that a word? It's just kind of two colors.
Monochromatic?
That's the one. Monochromatic.
So,
yes.
It's a nice looking statue.
Yeah, don't know any other details. Just got a first look. Shirt rip, you can't go wrong with a shirt rip.
The shirt rip. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Are you guys both okay? Like, emotionally, do you need any support?
No, we are not.
You're not okay?
We are not okay.
No, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I might buy you one of these each. Okay. This is a superhero series emotional support crocheted Superman doll. It's from Hooall, HOOAUL.com. There's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash in the series. So in the face of every challenge in life, we all long for the company of a hero. Now you can have a unique emotional support doll. These are $16.99 US and are available to order today. But guys, you are stronger than you think, so just keep flying, okay?
Yeah. I need it now. I need it right now.
Something to take to you snuggle up
really.
Hey, somebody needs it out there, and more power to them. I hope they get
No.
the emotional support they need from this crocheted doll.
Yeah.
It does look cute, but in all seriousness.
It does.
Does. So this past week, Superman Celebration in Metropolis, Illinois, concluded, as you know, last weekend. Thanks to Sassy Ann Shannonfield, we have the videos from the 4 panels that took place with the 4 celebrities. There was Dean Cain. There was, who else was there? I'm forgetting. Odette Annable, Michael Ironside, and there was one more, which is I'm skipping on her name, Anise. Oh, here it is. Anise Fairweather. She was the voice of Supergirl in the DC Superhero Girls. Those 4 panels are available to watch on our YouTube channel and on our website. So if you haven't had a chance to check those out, those 4 videos are available to watch. And I was surprised that there were no questions for Michael Ironside about his time playing Sam Lane in Smallville. Like, he was there for a good hour, I think, and nobody asked him about his time in Smallville.
Oh, that's interesting.
I wonder if people forget that he was in Smallville because
Maybe
Sam Lane wasn't like a recurring character. He was there a couple of times, but yeah, I'm sure they want to talk to him more about being Darkseid.
Yeah, probably that's probably where most of the questions came. But so thanks again to Sassy for making those available to the Superman homepage to post on our YouTube channel. And this past weekend, I was at Supernova. The convention here in Sydney took place Saturday and Sunday. I was only able to attend on the Saturday, but the Superman costume contest took place on the Sunday. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to attend on the Sunday to see that. But I did get around to interview a number of the Superman cosplayers that were there on Saturday. The big auditorium there for Artist Alley and the where they were doing the stage for cosplays and things like that was labeled Superman Theatre, and they had a massive banner on the outside and lots of imagery on the inside, and that was really cool to see. And they played the trailer on the TV screens and on the big screen there for the film. So lots of people buzzing about the Superman film. Heard a couple of people talking about it as I was like walking around. So it seemed like there's a lot of great buzz, and I was happy to see that was all happening there here in Sydney. I haven't seen, my brother-in-law took a photo of one of the buses driving around with the big Superman poster on the side here in Sydney. So seeing a lot more promotions for this upcoming film than I have in the past here in Australia.
Yeah, that's. I'm surprised it's more because you were the set for Superman Returns. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's quite a few years ago now, so people probably don't even remember the fact that it was filmed here in Australia.
As I point out to people, we are as far away from Superman Returns right now as Superman Returns was from Superman 4.
Wow.
Like, literally. It's right in the middle there.
Right on. There you go. JK Krypton fan 76 say, I didn't enter the contest. No. Maybe it's Jimmy Olsen, or Jarrell or something. Yeah, no. I believe somebody who was Jarrell won the Superman contest, the costume contest. So congratulations to them. But no, I didn't enter the contest myself. I don't really do cosplay. Like, it's not my thing. But plus, I'm not 6'4" and tall and chisel jawed to get into a Superman costume.
Fair. Very fair.
All right. Well, that is pretty much it for tonight's show. Before we do sign off, I want to thank everybody for joining us over this past hour. Thank you so much for your company. We really appreciate you being with us. I want to thank my 2 co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure as always.
And thank you, Mark.
Gentlemen, thank you.
And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Rick Schutzau, Jamie Klingon-Smith, and Tina Murray. I did say John. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate you making the show free for everyone. If you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, then please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks. The complete 1-hour video of tonight's show will remain available both on our website and on our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back, or perhaps you missed part of the show and want to see what you missed out on. But the three of us will be back next week with our special guest, who is Jermaine, the author of the Superman official cookbook. We tried to have him on a couple of weeks ago. That didn't work out, but we have rescheduled that for next week. So make sure you join us at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time on June 30th for that edition of Superman Homepage Live. Look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice, behalf of myself, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.